Alright, welcome back to the Spartan Math Library. This is part 2 of our walking rate discussion. In the last one, briefly, we talked about the fact that we could find our walking rate by dividing our distance that we walked, 10 meters, by the number of seconds it took us to walk that, which in my situation was 7 seconds, which gave me approximately 1 and 43 hundredths meters per second. So that just tells me how far I can walk in 1 second. We came up with two different types of questions after this. One of them was, if I walked 500 meters, how long would it take me to get there? So if I walk a certain distance, how long would it take? And the other one was, if I walked for a certain amount of time, how far could I get? So in the first situation where I'm walking 500 meters, I like to think of that as, let's say this is a hallway that is 500 meters long. How long would it take me to walk from the left side over here to the right side over here? If I know that I can walk at 1 and 43 hundredths meters per second, what that's telling me is if I walk for 1 second, I'm going to go 1 and 43 hundredths meters. And I could keep breaking that hallway up into those small chunks until I reached the very end. So what I'm really doing is I'm taking that original 500 and I'm breaking that down into smaller chunks. Now I know that when I do that repeatedly, we also think of that as division. So really what I'm doing is I'm taking that 500 meters and I'm dividing it by my 1 and 43 hundredths meters per second. I find that it is often very helpful for me to use my labels and the problems here. When I'm done with that, I'm going to round to the nearest hundredths place. I end up with 349 and 65 hundredths. And because I'm dividing meters by meters per second, I'm going to end up with a label of seconds. So that tells me 349 and 65 hundredths seconds to walk 500 meters at a rate of 1 and 43 hundredths meters per second. So my common sense test is going to be, we discussed that if I was walking at 1 meter per second, it should take me 500 seconds to walk 500 meters. I'm walking faster than that, which means that I should get there quicker than 500 seconds. And if I look at my answer of 349 and 65 hundredths seconds, that's actually less than what it would have taken me if my rate was 1 meter per second. So I know that that answer is at least legitimate. So what you're going to end up doing to find the time, you're going to take the distance that you walk and divide it by your walking rate, and that will get you the time it would take to walk that. The next situation that we came across was how far could you walk in 30 seconds? And then they also said, what about 10 minutes and what about 1 hour? So for that first one, I'm going to do the opposite of what I did. I'm going to say, okay, if I walk for 1 second, that's going to be again my 1 and 43 hundredths meters per second. Well, if I just keep adding increments of 1 second, increments of 1 second, and I keep doing that until I come up with that 30th second, basically what I'm doing is I'm just adding that 1 and 43 hundredths over and over and over. Now I don't want to do that 30 times, but I do know that repeated addition is multiplication. So if I multiply my 1 and 43 hundredths meters per second times 30 seconds, I'm going to end up with 42 and 9 tenths. And since I said how far could I walk, that's going to be in meters. So 42 and 9 tenths meters is how far I could go in 30 seconds at my walking rate. The next part of the section said, what if you walk for a certain number of minutes or a certain number of hours using the same rate? And really all I'm going to be doing at that point is scaling up. So I start out with that 1 and 43 hundredths meters per second. So in this situation, I'm dealing with seconds. The next one said, well, what about a certain number of minutes? Well, I know that in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds per minute. So if I just multiply the 1 and 43 hundredths times 60, that's going to give me 85 and 8 tenths meters per minute. And then I can just multiply that by the number of minutes. And then I could just keep doing the same thing. If I wanted to figure out in 1 hour, I would just take that 85 and 8/10 and multiply it by 60, because there's 60 minutes per hour. Some of you knew that if I wanted to skip the minute stage and go right to hours, that there are 60 seconds per minute and there are 60 minutes per hour, which gives me the scaling factor of 3,600 seconds per hour. So you could just again multiply that 1 43/100ths times the 3,600, and in 1 hour I can actually walk 5,148 meters, again, per 1 hour. Hopefully this is going to help you with doing the homework for Investigation 1.1, finding and using unit rates. Remember, you can always check in with the Edmodo page, and I will hopefully see you again here in the Spartan Math Library.